Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, one of many famous phrases spoken by Martin Luther King Jr. Hello and thanks for joining us tonight as we remember the legacy of the Reverend and civil rights leader. King grew up in Atlanta, became pastor at the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church while fighting for civil rights in the 50s and 60s. In 1964, Dr. King became the youngest man to ever receive the Nobel Peace Prize. 4 years later, he was assassinated. Shortly after he died, people campaigned to honor him by making his birthday a federal holiday. That happened nearly 2 decades later when former President Reagan signed it into law. Since then, we honor MLK every year on the third Monday of January. Between cold and wintry weather and the ongoing pandemic, Macon-Bibb County held a scaled-back version of their ceremonies today. They moved them inside the Macon-Bibb Government Center. Ramey Cohen talked to a Macon-Bibb commissioner and the leader of an organization about how MLK's vision must continue to remain alive in spite of challenges.
In the past, we've had hundreds of marchers coming from 4 sections of town.
Unfortunately, this year the celebration had to be scaled back a lot. Faith leaders and elected officials still got together to remember the life of Martin Luther King Jr. Elaine Lucas, the District 3 Commission leader, wants today to be about.
I think the community should just remember that there were people who gave their lives for our rights.
D. Michael Padilla is one of the leaders of Men and Women About Change. He says he's thankful to be able to serve in this leadership role.
I wouldn't be able to say I'm a part of a Black-owned organization if it weren't for some of the strides and the efforts and the struggles and sacrifices that MLK and so many people like him made.
Looking forward and celebrating MLK and his lasting legacy, but they say there's work to be done.
For them to get busy and ensure that their own human rights, their own voting rights, their own civil rights are protected for the future.
On this day, with a scaled-down event largely held virtually, there are dreams of something more, like the big ceremonies of the past.
I can see an event like this really expanding and bringing the Macon community out, and Macon being a predominantly Black town and predominantly minority town. Events like this really speak to the spirit of the community here.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
In Macon, Ramey Cohen, 13 WMAZ News.
Yeah, Elaine Lucas told Ramey she believes once the pandemic is behind us, the community will once again gather together in large numbers to celebrate the King holiday.